And here we are with the last round with our hidden stockpile Quicksmith Rebel deck of amazement. Let's see what we can do here, shall we? Rah! I was trying to take my headphones off and they're just falling all over the place because I recognized usually I wear the headphones while I'm streaming because I'm listening to music. I usually listen to the music from ocremix.org, which is awesome stuff. Like, if I'm not going to listen to music, there's really no point in wearing the headphones. So all of that noise you heard was me trying to take them off, failing, dropping them, etc. Yeah. Basically, I'm as agile in life as I am gifted in magic. So there's that. Good morning, Dutch. He's not squeaking today, but just ate a lot of cat food. Oh, this looks like a keep. We've got our hidden stockpile turned on. Kind of hard to go wrong with that. Presumably, I want to just go ahead and pop the map and cast it. Like, there's an argument to wait so that we could hit the aeronauts. But I mean, the whole point of this thing is to get that fella going there. I ain't gonna have an artifact for this guy, but I mean, we'll find. Well, I'll have a servo if I want it. Now, do I have double blacks or double whites? I don't think I actually do. I've got one double white, so it still makes sense to have this. 2 mana for a servo. Like, I can make this cost 5 and, you know, get the counter on it. Or, just whenever an artifact enters the battlefield, so I get to scry and drain every turn. I've never been so happy. Now, obviously, it's not going to do what it do now, but it'll get there. I don't mind having Caught in the Brights in my hand. I really don't. Like, I would like a land at this point, but our next couple turns are probably lined up. That's quite the little wombo combo we've got there. Well, a 2/3 kind of stalemates me, don't it? So I can save the Caught in the Brights, go look for a land, which would let us land the Rebel. The Rebel doesn't do a whole lot here, and I would rather play it when I can do the thing. So I think we're just going to go fish for a land here. Like, I can Caught in the Brights that, and there's some value in it. Especially if I think the Rebel can kill something later too. But like, I'm not doing it to force through 1 damage. I'm doing it because I want to stop them from looting. My other option is just scry and drain. Yeah, alright. Well, this is premium removal. Like, does this card matter? Is this what's going to end the game? When I'm sitting here with a 3/3, potentially 2 3/3s in hand. We could also just cast this. We could attack in with the servo. Let them trade it. Okay, now there's something I can get behind. It took me a while, but we found it. This doesn't necessarily get me the scry, but I don't care if this dies, and I also don't mind them taking 1. Okay, now we can decide if we want to just drain or catch it. I think I just want to drain. With the idea that I've got that blanked in a while, and I just kind of want to land. So they do get one loot in, which is not great, but it's similar to the 2 scries that we've had, I would think. And like, if they play a Gear Seeker Serpent and we hit a land, I think we're going to be happy that we still have this Caught in the Brights. All right, again, we've got our Aeronaut now. It's just a matter of whether they want to give it to us for free or not. Yeah, it is a nasty combo. What's crazy is if they take it, if they kill this, they're actually gaining me a life. Do I want another one? Yeah, I'm okay with one more land. After that, we'll start scrying them away. Now this should be able to block both of their creatures. Well, obviously not at once. But you get what I'm saying. Alright, so you've got a combat trick. Cool. Cool. Alright, alright. We may have to do some blocking here. So Wanderer is a pretty good start. As it can jump up and block all the things and we can get some value going. I was hoping we could Quicksmith Rebel and ping off the Drake, but it looks like I'm legitimately going to have to block. And I don't want to, but here we are. Here we are. Like, as always, we can attack with the servo. There's just no reason not to hit him for one here. I'm not planning on scrying. I'm planning on playing out the Wanderer and draining them for one. But, like, I'm not going to block with this guy because it kind of doesn't matter. They have gotten some value off of that racer we elected not to catch in the Brights earlier. I'm thinking that playing the Wanderer here leaves me a better chance of being able to play the Rebel and the Caught in the Brights next turn. So that's why I want to just go ahead and try to maximize mana. It also gives me a bunch of flying blockers if I need them, and I'm not quite as scared to trade off the Aeronaut when I have this around. Like that, I realize I'm running no attacks, no blocks here, but my position has now changed that they've developed the board with the Maverick Thopterist. Like, I'm going to have to just trade off Home Slice. I'd rather things trade on my turn so that I can, you know, get servos or whatever, but opponent's thinking through this one, and it makes sense. Like, there are Revolt cards that I could have. We'll also have the Designs on as just a straight up kill spell if they don't interact with the Wanderer, which I think is a good start. Here, we'll pause this while they think through it. All right, they made their block. Turns out that's all it was. I was just going to cast this anyway. I'd like to, but we can't right now. I wonder what combat trick they've got, or maybe they just don't have anything. I mean, I suppose that's reasonable too. Sure. Doesn't make a great deal of sense. I'm guessing it's precise strike. Just on the off chance that they don't have something, I'll make the block here. Yeah, you got me. This way we can play the rebel, ping something, have options. Like the Wanderer still sort of handles that, but like I said, we hit Caught in the Brights. All of a sudden we can play the rebel and that in the same turn. There's, again, very little reason not to attack with this servo, unless I think I'm blocking with it, and I don't. Well, unless we're going to use it for the ping, Travis. So let's walk through our turn. Do I want to catch in the Brights, say this guy, and then ping that? I probably just need to replay the darn Wanderer. Get some drains on. Ironlead Steed looks great. Okay. You just gonna bounce my Wanderer, aren't you? Yeah, now we have to get into the... Alright, fine. I'll play out my stuff card. Because I think we're looking at taking too much damage. I have not seen a tempo deck this tempo-y in some time. Problem is, I still need to be able to gain the life. Like, what do they have? One more? Yeah, I'm at too low a life total not to replay the Wanderer. They basically locked me into this, where with one more bounce spell they kill me. And it's not crazy to think that they'd be playing one, because I have to gain life off of this. I think I should have focused on lowering, removing their board while I had the option to do so. I can play the Steed and get 2 drains going up to 5. But I don't think that actually does enough. All right, if I Caught in the Brights, say this, play the Rebel and kill that, we're still dead. So yeah, here we are. I mean, I'm also dead to various burn spells, right? I'm going to die with a bunch of cards in my hand. Prowler's a good draw. Lets me do a couple things next turn if we have a next turn. Because currently we're looking at eating this or that, chumping here, and dying. So that's not going to work. We have to, gosh, we have to chump with this guy? No, I can trade it off for something. I really don't want to, but I can. I think looking back, the decision not to use the Caught in the Brights was an interesting one. Because my thought was this card doesn't matter, but as it turns out, it's looted them 3 times, or rummaged, whatever, and dealt me somewhere around 6 points of damage. And if we're at 10 life, this is an entirely different board state. It's weird because like when you first start playing Magic, you fire off your removal on the first thing your opponent plays. And then when you get better at Magic, you're like, I'm going to save the removal because this card doesn't matter. Like I'll have it blanked by this 3/3 or this 3/3. But now that they back it up with tempo, it's like all of a sudden the play the newer player would have made turns out to be the best play. It's like that is so weird and not intuitive, and yet dun dun dun, here we are. They don't have a bounce spell, but life still ain't good for me. So I blocked this and gained 5. I've nullified these 2. I'm still taking 4, so I have to chomp. If I block this and try to keep my dude, I'm gaining 1, chumping there, going to 5, and taking 6. So none of this works. What I have to do is trade this guy for that, and then chump something else, and we're still playing. None of which is a happy place to be, but here we are. Because this is going to be a hard board to take care of. And certainly not going anywhere with that. See, that's what we want to play the Caught in the Brights on. We're like, oh my God, I'm so smart. We can Caught in the Brights that. But instead, so I caught that. That's 3 mana. And play the 4th Bridge Prowler and kill one of those. Yeah. So I can get 2 ground blockers off of this. Drain for 1, kill that. That puts me at 4. I block these 2 and take 4. Yeah. I don't think there's a way out of that. That's a shame. We got the Wombo combo together and just got tempoed out. Turns out tempo is a strong play. I'll play this a little differently now that I know what they're up to. I don't think I won't call for Unity against a tempo deck. That's just not the droid I'm looking for. I think I might be more interested in just something that can attack and block relatively cheaply. Harold's a little more fair than I'd normally like to be, but he can get the job done. All right, this will take. There's some things missing. You may be able to piece together what they are, but that's all right. If you guessed black mana, you were correct. But it does have the aerial responder, which I think is a very strong card. I almost played that swamp just out of the joy of hitting the swamp, but that's exactly not what we would want to do. Okay, you did your thing. Don't worry, it'll come back later. So about this tempo. How is that working out for you? I think we probably offer a trade here. I'm not sitting on a bunch of removal spells and this isn't getting any better. I'm gonna hold on to that because I can at least blink it post-combat and get some more energy. Like right now it's the best option we've got for the Felidar Guardian. That doesn't mean that we won't draw another, but it is certainly something we can do. I wouldn't mind a scry. Built to Last looks kind of interesting here. What if they make that a 3/4? Then Built to Last isn't actually going to save any of my dudes. So let's not take Built to Last. Like all they have to do is do what they have on board, which is equip this, and Built to Last is not so hot. I think we could do far better than that. All right, this gets us a start. We've got a portion of our engine going. Also, with the opponent down to 11 life, that's not irrelevant. That'll get big quick. I don't particularly want to trade this Aether Poisoner, but I got to get some damage going in there somewhere. Like, this guy isn't fantastic because of the bounce that we've seen from them, but we can at least do what we do. And any removal spell they have for us turns into a scry. Like, trading this for a construct technically allows us to attack with a Felidar Guardian. Don't need that. Like the Scavenger would be good here. A Multiform Wanderer, Restoration Gearsmith. If I want, I can cash this in and get the Iron League Steed back, so we're at least drawing something there. Okay, I think as long as they're not attacking, we're at least stable. Prowler doesn't really have a good shot here. I mean, I can attack with the 9th Bridge Patrol. If I have to, I could make it huge, but I'm kind of scared they're just going to block me. So let's just get our scry on. See what's up here. Implement of Improvement. I'll take that. It's that plus another card. Yeah, I think I'm good with this board state at the moment. The part where they're not attacking, I like. Okay, now we may have to start looking at getting in. Which I think we can do. Like, we can kind of swing team here, right? I understand they're going to bounce this guy. It's kind of okay. Okay, maybe they're not going to bounce it. And they just fall victim to my hidden stockpile. So not actually showing us great targets for the 4th Bridge Prowler. Like, the only thing we saw for it was the tokens from, whatchamadoodle. The blue-red thing that does the stuff. It doesn't mean I got anything better. Resourceful returns, all right. Could just play another Night Market Aeronaut. Like, it's not like I'm going to run this out early. We could play this Sly Requisitioner, but it only works with non-tokens, so it's basically playing with the maps and the implement. I'm not really sold about that either. I can find room for this to do something. It doesn't have to be great. I probably should have been attacking prior to that turn, but I play cautiously. And we have returned, and this looks fine to me. Got our servos all drawn up. Don't really need to crack the map initially. Although maybe we're going to start wanting to. We will see. Yes, we will see. So map lets me get down the poisoner right meow, and I'm going to want to do that eventually. But I kind of don't have an issue playing the schematic and seeing if we can draw a swamp so I could get the red. It'd be nice to have that. And if we're going to send in with the schematic token, I can play the 9th Bridge Patrol next turn. The only argument, well, I could still, if I get a swamp, play the patrol and the prowler. I think all of this equals out to just play the servo schematic. I don't need a land drop this turn. I need one next turn, but next turn I can prowler and patrol. I can't poisoner and patrol, but there's no guarantee I could do that anyway. See, that's where having this would have been good, but that's somebody that I am happy to caught in the brights, especially given what we know about our opponent's deck. Like, I really rather would have sniped it with the 4th Bridge Patrol, but that's just not the world we're living in. not doing this to force through 1 damage. We're doing it to not die. All right. Probably should play 2 2s here, even though the Herald commits a little bit more to the board. I do think I'm happier having the Herald here, just so we have, you know, the opportunity to play 2 spells next turn. I don't really want to play out a 1/1 on this board, but it at least does something here. If we can establish a board state where we're slightly ahead, then we can make their tempo spells not particularly good. Also, at this point, like, what do they even want to use removal on? I guess the 9th Bridge Patrol is a bit of a threat. It or at least will eventually be. Oh, we racing. Okay. Harold has some thoughts about that. So does this aerial responder to an extent. The problem is it can't get through that, so I think we're still on the same line we were before. It doesn't actually prevent much damage, but okay. I mean, it prevents basically 1 damage. And it does answer the creature, so I'll give him that. I'm trying to decide if we're ever going to get a target for the 4th Bridge Patrol, because I'm not entirely convinced that we are. And like having this off the board does do something. So I think I'm just going to fire this off while I've got a reasonable target. Like, it means they can't bounce it later. And if we get our little dude that gets back enchantments, I can get back my enchantment. So that's not a value trade. It's a I need stuff on the board trade. And I don't think we're legitimately going to be sniping anything with it now. Cue them playing, you know, a 6/1 unblockable, but... Is select for inspection the one that scries? Yeah, we should look and see where they put that. They went top. I think if we can get them to the point where they're holding back to block, I think we're in good shape. But we will see.
Yes, we will see.
In the meantime, I'll just pet Fat Cat. He's looking very handsome and has lost some weight since we put him on the Catkins diet. What do they do? Bounced Herald. Hello, Herald. That's why we didn't want to do the thing with the stuff. So we've got options here, one of which is attack for 1. I think we'd probably attack with this too. I don't think I want to throw away the other dudes just yet. Although I might. There's no sense not getting Herald grown. And I can at least get in for 2 here and have a ground board state that holds them back. All right, they're happy just taking 2. This is a turn where I can probably swing team depending on what they have. That's a little bit of what I was afraid of, but here we are. Salvager makes this quite interesting, doesn't it? The aerial responder does too. But Salvager can get this into a must block threat right meow, which I like. I can also get this in the graveyard, which is suddenly relevant again. There's an argument for just Woo-Saw and try to block though. Which I think is probably where I want to be right now. And then we've got the Salvager plan for next turn. Like, that essentially nullifies these Thopter tokens. Sets them in a position where they want to move the Inventor's Goggles back to the Drake, potentially. I would like a scry. Plains is not what I want. I would like a map or a mountain. They also went bottom with this scry. There we go. Ironlead Steed is fine. But I think like, how big does this have to get to be able to just trade with that thing? It's got to get 2, 4, 6, at least bigger than it is now. So Steed, make a bunch of artifacts is an option. Salvager sacking the 4th Bridge Prowler doesn't seem terrible right now, because I can at least get that back over time. But let's start here and start building up a little bit of an army. I think this is big enough for this turn. Like, I'm not super eager to fire off the Restoration Gearsmith to get back something like the 4th Bridge Prowler. It's a little bit of value to, like, snipe a Thopter token, but we're a land away from that just not mattering. That was the other reason I was a little hesitant to pop the servo schematic, is that's much more difficult for my opponent to interact with than, say, a servo token. But right now we're kind of stuck at a good old-fashioned board stall. Our little duder that gets back enchantments and artifacts would be a terrific draw now. We could get back Caught in the Brights for the Hinterland Drake and really start chaining some value, as well as the Renegade map to get the Rebel going. And, like, just good things are happening. I guess the downside and what we're worried about is that they hit something like a Gear Seeker Serpent before we draw what we're looking for, which would be bad. Okay. Clock may become a factor here. All right, so we've got the Gearsmith ping a flyer, make a giant thing play. But I still don't feel really compelled to pull the trigger here. Like, what happens if I play the Iron League Steed, give it haste, and swing with the team? This trades for Thopter, that's pretty easy. This gets eaten. They trade here. They eat a servo. Like, that's not dealing enough damage to really matter. I can sack these servos and have a 6/6 and a 4/4. The 6/6 has a good attack. And the servos aren't super valuable. But I still don't see a compelling reason to really do much here. I can go for one with the idea of I'd like my Ninth Bridge Patrol to be out of shock range, but other than that, I'm good. And then we've got the potential to get in with something big next turn. And the thing is, neither of these are particularly valuable to get back with the Gearsmith. I'm also kind of concerned that they might have something, but I guess a bounce spell is going to get me no matter what I do. Okay, Welding Sparks is not good, but here we are. And it does give me an excuse to fire off the Gearsmith. I don't see a compelling reason not to. I could just get back the Renegade map. I could have done that a long time ago. Yeah, let's do that, especially now that we've got a removal piece gone. I didn't even recognize that I can do that. I'm sorry for those of you that have been sitting here going, why aren't you getting back the Renegade map? Because I didn't see it. I absolutely didn't see it. I forgot this could just get stone artifacts, and I'm bad, and I play bad, and I should feel bad, especially for wasting all of my opponent's time. So I can wait another turn and put it on this map, or I can just jam it on the Iron League Steed and be like, what's up? Like, they're not going to have a way to interact with this Renegade map. I should just do it there. Well, they might have a way. If they have a way to interact with this, they've got a way to interact with the Rebel. That doesn't make any sense at all. Just put it on the Steed and be happy with your life. All right, fair enough. They were going to be able to do that one way or the other. All right, we'll go for value. Now we'll just let this sit here as a revolt trigger. And I think we can kind of stare at each other for a little bit. Little bits. Gonna bounce my seed again? I like Dispersal Technician. They do want to bounce my seed again. Cool. I will keep making servos. All the servos. I think we're going to have the rarely seen time victory here. Or we've just ended up with a weird ground stall. If I'd gotten this going sooner, obviously we've got some good stuff happening, but I didn't. Because I just totally whiffed on the fact that this is not just a grave digger. So again, my apologies for that. Reading is hard, for those of you who did not know. They could still kill me with something like a serpent. Or if they have any way to interact with this aerial responder. There's the restoration specialist we were looking for. So if that can't attack or block, I think we're just fine everywhere. We can also start sending in some 3/3s now that we're going to have an actual game. So this is the thing I want out of the game, which is fine. And the 3-power dudes can attack. Then next turn, the 7/7 can attack. Board state looks a little better right now. Again, we're a little soft to something happening to this guy. We've got a precise strike I can take too. I don't think I need to swing with the 9/9 here, although I can't think of a terrible reason not to. Another ice over would be a little bad, but I just don't need to do it. They're already not beating this. That aerial responder has conviction, yo. It's must block now, and I got the board locked up. Give him some cute attacks here. All right, the classic win by timeout, which is a thing that happens here and there, and the Travis 2-1 Sowers streak continues. Thanks for watching here, folks. It has been a true pleasure to record draft videos for SeemsGoodMagic.com. Please do follow me over to Mana Deprived. You'll be seeing a video weekly from me there as well as some more stuff from some other people that you might enjoy. Dave Seville will be doing videos over there sometimes. You may have seen him here in the past, as well as some new folks. As always, I definitely appreciate you watching. I appreciate your support, and I'll look for you on the new site as well as on the stream, which is twitch.tv/Simulan. Come by and get a Fat Cat check-in. All right, folks. We'll see you next week. And have a good one.